Good morning. So we're up to Siman Kuf Tzadi Aleph, 191 Kuf Tzadi Aleph in Apollo Mechuyim Levarich. So the Mechaber starts off and talks about workers. Are they obligated in Birchas Hamazon because they have responsibilities to their boss, and can they just take off time from work in order to bench? What the Mechaber is going to say now is going to be quite different to the Halacha L'Maaseh, but let's take a look. Says the Mechaber in Aleph. Workers who work for the Balabayas, mekatzrin b'birchas hamazon, they should abbreviate birchas hamazon kadei shelo levatel meleches balabayas, in order not to be mevatel, to cancel the work of the Balabayas, because they've got responsibilities, and if they're davening birchas hamazon, saying birchas hamazon, then it takes away from their responsibilities, their work, their productivity to the Balabayas. Keitzad. So what should they do? What's the abbreviated Birchas Hamazon? Bracha Rishona Katikna. The first bracha that you do is normal. Ushnia, but the second bracha, Neidelecha, Pesach B'Birchas Haaretz, V'Koilel B'Ben Yerushalayim. You sort of combine bracha number 2 and 3. V'Chosein B'Birchas Haaretz, and then you finish off Birchas Haaretz, V'Ein Omer Birchas Hatzov V'Meitiv. So you say bracha number 1, you combine 2 and 3, and you skip 4. Klal, this is the rule. Sorry, ein omrim birchas haTorah mitzvah klal. But medvar mamurim, when is that true? K'shenoitlim schar al malachton milvat hasuda. When aside from the lunch he's going to give you, he pays your wage. Avalim ein noitlim schar el hasuda she'oichlim levad. If your payment is lunch, that is it. Then mevarchin kol ha'ava brachas katignon. Then you daven all, you say all 4 properly. So too, if the Balabayas is eating with them, because if the Balabayas is eating with you, even if you're getting paid separately in addition to your meal, then clearly he's been meichel, and you're allowed to bench all 4 brachas. I'll just do base because it's there's no Mishnah Berurah on base, but it just changes it. Nowadays, all employees can bench normally. She'ein derech b'nei adam achshav lahakpid bekach, because Balabatim, the boss, is not particular nowadays. That that's the presumption that when you hire workers, she'ivachu kol ha'ava brachas katignom, that they bench properly. Okay, let's do the Mishnah Berurah. V'koilel b'Ben Yerushalayim. So the Mechaber had said that a worker who has responsibilities to Balabayas says the first bracha, and then he abbreviates number 2 and 3 to combine them together. The after Dashin b'Gemara Mikra she'ivarech l'Hashem b'Birchas Hamazon al Hamazon v'al Haaretz v'al Yerushalayim. Even though there are sources in Torah to say that you bench those 3 brachas, Birchas Hamazon al Hamazon al Haaretz v'al Yerushalayim, the first 3 brachas. But the Torah doesn't say that you've got to make 3 separate brachas. Really, you could say all the brachas in one bracha. You could mention those 3 things in one bracha. Chazal came along and said you should make a bracha on each of those 3 themes. When it comes to workers who have got to keep their time short for benching because they're busy working, then they can they say Hazon. Since they're very sort of thematically, they're quite similar. You combine them together. That's the Magen Avraham b'divrei Rashi. Klal. You don't say the third bracha, the fourth bracha of Hatzov V'Meitiv, that is skipped in total. Shezu einay ki imid Rabbanon ba'alma. That's just a Rabbanon. That's not min haTorah. Va'akru es ha'parlim, and Chazal sort of deleted it when it comes to parlim. Bensching mevarchin ba'atzon, bensching shomim pi acher, whether they're saying it themselves or someone's being made to them, or mevarch birchas hamazon gitikuna, and they're benching properly. Hari hein oimdim lemlachton k'shechosim b'birchas Yerushalayim, and therefore, as soon as they've finished the combined bracha of al haaretz and Yerushalayim, when they finish that, they can go off to work. Well, in birchas hazimun, and whether or not, if there are 3 workers together, they do a zimun. The Achronim debate that. And according to what we said in Sif Beis, that nowadays any worker all says all 4 brachas, there has no nafka mina to bevada chayovin, because they are certainly chayiv to do it. It's just that if the worker is eating with others and has finished his meal, if they don't want to wait, they don't want to answer straight away, then he should just bench and he should not wait for the zimun to be ready, because that's just a bittul melachta and it's not fair for the balabais. So the balabais makbid. Certainly the balabais will be makbid. Fa'ayin lekam b'simin reish, morgan avram b'sif kotim beis. Kashenot lim schar v'alkein strichim lemaya melacha, because he should hurry up and do his work. Meisiv imoim demistomah moichel lohem. Okay, take a look at 3. Interesting note. V'chein kosav le'el l'inyan tefillah. She'af me'a'ike adin yesh tepalim nispal rak tefillas havinenu. When it comes to davening, this we're talking about benching. What about davening? So even though we said previously that the poyalim should say havinenu, which is an abbreviated Shemona Esrei, it's very short. V'lo is called tefillah Shemona Esrei, and they shouldn't daven the whole Shemona Esrei. Ha'idna nowadays ein makbidin bekach. We're not worried. The boss, when he hires him, the understanding is he needs to daven mincha, and therefore he can daven a full Shemona Esrei. Because nowadays people are not makbid. If you have someone who goes off to daven mincha, that's okay. Now, even in a situation where the balabais says, actually, I am makbid, you don't listen to the boss. We allow the employee to daven mincha. That even if he hires them with a stipulation that they should abbreviate, they should daven quickly, and also do a quick berachas hamazon. We don't listen to the boss. Because that's not the minhag. It's sort of implied that they've got to take it upon themselves to behave this way with their employees. And they can't deviate from that.
The boss is the boss.
Yeah, but okay. Basically, now what about them going to daven with the minyan? Is that taking a liberty? Is that pushing it too far? So he says, that they're allowed to actually go daven with the minyan. But when it comes to the minyan, that's only if the boss is not makbid. In other words, you can force him to say, listen, I need to daven mincha. But to say, I've got to go to the shul, which is a 5-minute walk away, and I'll daven, it's half an hour, I'm coming back, that you can't force him. Okay, Beseda. Also, Gimel. Also, lasses melacha ba'idem mevarich. You can't do any melacha whilst you're still benching. V'chein hu la'ilel seif simen kuf pei Gimel. Says the Mishnah Berurah. Also, lasses melacha mipnei shenireh ka mevarich b'derech aray mikra, because you're treating benching flippantly. Va'afilu tashmish kal also lasses. Even a light activity you can't do. And certainly nothing which needs concentration. I've never seen this before, but learning whilst you're benching, right? That the Taz says don't do. Because you're cheapening benching. It just shows you don't attach chashivas to benching. And so too when you're davening, don't be involved in other things. Or any other bracha. Because you're making it carry, like sort of happenstance. Okay, la'el soif simen kufei gimel ela deshon marish mikodim hischil memlocha v'chal marish mikodim hischil levarich v'hihi. So it's both scenarios. Now take 2 interesting footnotes.
9.
What?
9, isn't it?
Yeah, 7 and 9, very interesting. Now, what is the geder of a tashmish kal? What's considered a light activity? So he says in number 7, hevi ha-benish chai, kama digmois, some good examples of what things you shouldn't be doing when you're benching or davening or doing any other mitzvah. Hamanagev yodov, drying your hands. Sheveinu das hapoiskim in nigav yodov lenagev yodov b'shas brochas al tezudayim, or lovesh mabushov, getting dressed whilst you're davening, or putting on your tie or whatever. Meinif magifa b'menifa, Romans beit of blowing, winking, kuritz pisfosov, or doing moila betzbosov, or clicking, or doing something like that. Chaim Kosav shekmokein ein lefanes devarim hashulchan b'shas habracha. Don't start cleaning up as you're benching. Ki b'shas habracha yeh yodov asurus ve'enov seguros u'matovim yivarech metecha sefer. Just bench. Close your eyes or daven from a sefer. V'haim yesh liyashiv b'shas habracha. Do you need to sit down when you're saying the bracha? Or is it okay to do it whilst you're walking? So it's better to stand still, when you're saying Tfilas HaDerech, which is not normally the case. You're normally in a car or something. Okay, fine. So that's that. Let me just jump to 9. Yeah, Shish al always gets short shift, right? You're saying the Shish al-Yom and you're halfway out of shul. However, he says over here to fold your talis when you're saying the Shish al-Yom, quoting the Salmas Chaim, she'kanira she'af l'das ataz ein bezek peda mipnei she'osi b'mitzvah she'osi lov b'shas atfila. Okay, so therefore folding your talis for whilst we're saying the Shish al-Yom, that should be our worst avera, and ikadin, that would be okay.